never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations, oh. Cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.
Welcome back to today's video. It's your girl Nats, and I hope everyone is happy, healthy, and doing okay. By now you guys have seen the news. We're expecting a little bean and we couldn't be more excited. Today's video we are bringing it back a bit, and we are going to be talking to you guys about how we found out that we were pregnant. Which is really a cool thing for us, because you guys would never believe it, but we actually did not film us finding out that we were pregnant, which is something that I deeply regret not doing. I've said it to Adam so many times. We didn't record it simply because in the moment it was kind of anxiety feeling, especially for me. Like I was very nervous, even because we were nervous because I think we were like 99% sure that we were going to get a positive, just because of the conversations that we had like minutes before we actually took the test. And because of that, I was very nervous and I started filming, and then I stopped. And no, you guys, so we got cut off because we got a grocery delivery like right in the middle of what we were saying. But basically I was trying to explain that the reason behind us not filming the moment when we found out, and it is something that I regret, because I was saying to Adam, even if we did not put it out on the internet, it still would have been nice just to look back at that moment, because now we kind of have to talk about it with each other and film like a separate video that we won't be putting out, where we can talk in our Jamaican language and just reminisce on the day, and then save that footage for us to look back on 20 years from now when we see Nile and can't remember anything.
In 20 years? You're gonna be seeing it?
Trust me, with kids, you forget everything. Yeah, that is one of my regrets so far. But today we are going to dive back and share with you guys exactly how we found out we were pregnant. So let's get into the story. Alright, first of all, and many of you who follow me over on Instagram, you are going to be able to relate so hard to this what I'm saying right now, because you guys were a part of it when it started, when we had no idea that was going on, you know what I mean? So a couple of months back, I remember being on Instagram, because I'm always on Instagram stories every day, just, you know, engaging with you guys over there. So I was on Instagram and I was saying how sick I have been feeling for the past couple weeks. No, not weeks, days. For the past couple days. So at that point, when I was on Instagram, it was, I think, the weekend, the Saturday. And I was saying on stories that I have been feeling sick for the past like 4 days. So this was happening from like a Tuesday straight down to the Friday. Every single day I would either get nauseous or, you know, just feel unlike myself, which is very easy for me to tell because I know what myself feel like my regular self. I know what that feels like. Typically I have anemia or low iron in my blood, so I'm not always this energetic as you're seeing me in this video and for the past couple of months. But I know the difference between, one, being energetic, two, being my normal self meaning Natay with low iron and all of that stuff, and then three, absolutely not Natay, worse than a low iron count, you know what I mean? So when I was feeling that way, I was saying to Adam, boy, this week has been rough. to be honest, pregnancy did not cross my mind at this point. I really just felt as if work was getting just so hard, because whenever you work for a long period of time, 5 days a week, you just start feeling exhausted. So I thought that was what was happening. And then the weekend I was on Instagram and I was saying how sick I felt, and one of you guys reached out to me. I don't know if she watches my YouTube videos, but I know she messaged me on Instagram and she said, girl, maybe you need to do a COVID test, because one of her friends was experiencing the same symptoms as I was explaining on my Instagram stories, and her friend tested positive for coronavirus. So at that point I'm like, oh my god, I have caught coronavirus. And it wasn't an impossible thing, because in Japan we have never stopped working throughout the pandemic, to be honest. And so I have been exposed. We travel every day, we take the train, we're amongst people. So catching the virus was not something that we could totally rule out. It was a possibility. So at that point I was like messaging persons from a company right away saying that I need to go and get a coronavirus checkout, all of that stuff. But guess what, we never did do that test, did we? We never did, for some reason. So yeah, that was the Saturday. And then the Sunday we were just up and running in the house. We were creating some reels, and I'm going to insert the reel that we actually created that Sunday, the day after I was saying I felt sick. This reel right here. You guys, looking back now at that time, during that time when I was feeling like this, it was me becoming pregnant. And I had absolutely no idea. And to make it worse, Adam was even on my stories talking about cures for coronavirus and how we don't need any vaccination because you can get some PPT testing or something like that. Like, the people who follow me on Instagram will remember these stories. Comment down below if you remember when we were posting all of this story when Adam was talking about the
PTV test.
the PTV test, and it's only for married people and all of that stuff. So obviously you know what it means, right?
Yeah, so basically they are calling this the PTV test, and how it works is they highly recommend that only married persons should actually attempt this test, a very serious test. PTV.
In that time, I was actually conceiving and we had no idea.
So you were already vaccinated?
I was already vaccinated and had no idea. Yeah, so that was that. Then I started feeling better by, like, say, Monday, like the next week when I wanted to go to work, right? When I need to be going to work, rather. And yeah, everything was fine. Nothing else. I didn't feel sick. Everything was fine and dandy. So at this point, pregnancy still has not crossed my mind for some reason. And going to work as usual, waiting on my cycle to come for the next month as usual, because as I said, I am not thinking that we're pregnant. I am not, like, this period of time, looking back, I'm saying to myself that I was so naive, because even on Instagram stories, when I was explaining how sick I felt, I was saying stuff like, not pregnant, I'm definitely not pregnant because I just finished my period. Which was right. I had just finished my cycle, but in that moment, for some reason, I forgot that the next step after your cycle finishes is fertilization and ovulation that week. I totally lost track of that. I don't know. That is what happens when you get caught up and you lose self-control. You hear? You forget all line of duty and protocol. So yeah, I was on there and I was saying, I'm definitely not pregnant because my cycle just ended and blah blah blah. Not realizing that, hey, yeah, when your cycle ends, you enter into that period where you don't have sex because you may conceive. So at this point, I didn't realize that I was actually, in my fertile window and all of that stuff was going on in my body. So we are normally checking calendars and all of that stuff to ensure that we are safe. But for some reason this time nobody cared about the calendar. No one checked, no one asked, no one even remember. Anyway, that being said, moving on with my life, waiting for my next cycle in March to come. And yeah, that was where things got a little tricky. You guys will also remember on Instagram when I was posting that Adam, that's my darling husband, was leaving me all of these secret notes in places. Like, you guys have to remember all of this story if you follow me on Instagram. Adam was writing little notes and leaving it like in my lunch bag, in my drawer, in my glasses case, all of that, just saying sweet little things. And I remember one particular morning, I was always showing you guys a picture of what he wrote. And I remember one particular morning, something was on the note that I could not show you guys because that was kind of private, you know what I mean? And I said on Instagram stories, oops, cannot show you this one, guys. And yeah, still naive to everything that's going on. Still had no idea that our lives were about to change in a couple of days. So proceeded, you know, waiting on my period. My period was due somewhere in like mid-March, like in the 20th or some in the teens, late teens. And like the day before my period, you know, I checked my calendar because I don't want accidents while I'm on the road. So I checked my calendar to ensure that if my cycle was going to start on a weekday and I'm at work, I'm prepared from work. So, you know, I'm not having an accident and an emergency while I'm traveling. And so got up as usual, preparing for my cycle to start on the particular day. And usually my cycle is never ever late. And when I say never ever late, I really mean never ever late. It never is late, guys. My period is either one day early or the exact day that it's supposed to come. It is never the next day, ever, right? So preparing for my cycle to start on this day, went to work as usual, geared up, all of that stuff. On-flow didn't come. Once I don't see on-flow come on the day it's supposed to come and it didn't come the day before, that's a red flag for me. Alright? Red flag number 1. Right. I am not sure if at this moment I said anything to Adam like about my period didn't come today or something like that. We share this kind of information. We're that type of couple. We don't hide things. Everybody knows everything. And I'm not sure if I told him at this point, but the next day, as usual, I'm saying, okay, cool. Maybe I'm getting older, my body is changing. So I'm preparing for the cycle to still come. At this point, I still have no idea that I could have conceived. And went the next day at work, prepared as usual for on-flow, no on-flow. Again, this is day 2 of late period, okay? Well, would it be day 2 or day 1? The day it's supposed to come, it didn't come, and then the next day it didn't come. So that's one day late, because the day of the cycle is not counted as a late day. So one day late, the day after it was supposed to come, still no on-flow. At this point, I think I mentioned it to Adam and I said I have a late period. This never happens. What does this mean? Now, if you grew up in Jamaica, you know that if you miss your period, you're pregnant. There is no other reason for a missed period, okay? You're breathing and your parents will lick you, beat you. I'm kidding, but where I grew up, you don't miss a period. If you miss a period, you're in trouble. Especially for me, my mother was so strict, like my period better show up every month when it's supposed to show up, or else I got the answer to the belt.
So in Jamaica, these girls have to train their periods to be very regular. Because if the period is late, and some licks might have been delivered beforehand.
Yeah,
So
and
well-trained periods.
yeah, I mean it's true, and you know, as adults now that are more educated with periods and stuff, we come to understand that periods are not really, it's not straight. Like, not because you have a 28-day cycle this month doesn't mean you have a 28-day cycle next month. But for me, I don't know if it was my mom
Trained.
but my period was trained very well because it never missed. You understand? Anyway, enough of the period. But, and I am sorry if I'm TMIing anybody out there. If this kind of stuff grows you out, feel free to click out and never come back. Or do come back, you know, when we're not talking about this stuff. Anyway, so yeah, day 1. Mention it to Adam. Adam, this is like way out of the norm for me. This never happens. Something in a something, you know. And did we even think to check the calendar at this point? I don't think we did. We didn't even think about checking the calendar and like saying, I wonder if we're pregnant or anything like like that. We didn't check the calendar, but we were starting to question reasons behind a late period now. At this point, I still didn't even think I was pregnant, if I'm being very honest with you guys. I just felt as if something different was going on in my body. You know what I mean? Like something was affecting some change of cells and hormones, and something strange was happening. Maybe, I don't know. So proceeded next day. So this was now the Saturday. So this would be the second day of Miss Period now. Saturday, still looking for on-flow. I had no sight of on-flow all day Saturday. This Saturday, we actually had business in Tokyo. Adam had an exam. I was waiting on flow. We were traveling together, and that same day I met up with a friend in Tokyo, one of my YouTube friends, and we were out on water parks, driving water buses and all of that stuff. If you follow me, if you've subscribed to my channel, you probably subscribe to hers too. Namaste Stacia. So we were out having fun, you guys, and at this point, like looking back, I'm like, I was pregnant.
Having fun for two.
I was pregnant, and I had no idea. I even remember saying to Stacia on the train, I said, girl, like, I could be pregnant because my period is late and it's never late. And we were having like a deep girl-to-girl conversation on the train, and I'm like, girl. And I'm like, girl. You know, it was kind of like, you know, when you're talking to your girlfriends, like, even though you're not saying anything, you're saying something. I'm like, girl. And she's like, girl. And I'm like, girl. You know, and we are communicating. Trust me, we're communicating. Yeah, so we were out having fun. Adam was doing his exams, all of that stuff. I was still a bit nervous, but you know, it was a fun day, and we were enjoying ourselves. Anyway, we got back home the Saturday night, you know, do the thing, ready for bed, and then I saw something. I saw something that looked like on-flow trickling in. It wasn't fully on-flow, but as girls, we know what it looks like when on-flow is coming in, right? So I said to Adam, yeah, it was knocking. So I said to Adam, yes, not pregnant. I see signs of on-flow coming. And we went to bed peacefully. So this is fast forward now to the next day. That is Sunday now. Wake up expecting on-flow to like fully come in now. Because remember now, yesterday we see it knocking at the door. So today, you fully enter the room and all of that stuff. Nothing, like everything is gone. No sign, nothing. At this point, I start to question myself, and I'm wondering if I am going crazy, because I was like, but just a few hours ago, I am sure I saw what seems to be on-flow. So where is it? You know what I mean? Where is it? And then no, Adam was even confused, because Adam was like, but like yesterday you said XYZ, so what do you mean? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, me sure, like, I am sure I saw something. I am not crazy. So later on, no, after we found out we were pregnant, I got to understand that little spotting that I had was actually implantation bleeding. And this happens like when your egg is fertilized with the sperm already, and that little thing that's going to turn into the baby is attaching to my uterus to start growing. That's what was happening. Implantation bleeding. So we actually can tell the day when we conceived then. Because of that. It's very vivid, and we have like, we can backtrack the dates. Yeah, so that was what happened on the Sunday. So of course now it is fully blown freaking out season, because the period is like 3 going on 4 days late at this point. So that is way out of the norm for me, right? So definitely something is up. And everybody started to like kind of panickish, you know. We start freak out, guys. We live in Japan. We did not plan to start a family in Japan, and I have been very honest about that. We wanted to start a family after we leave Japan, because Japan is just not a place where we see ourselves living forever or raising children and things like that. So we were freaking out. All right, we were freaking out. Okay, so yeah, freaking out season. Monday, on-flow still didn't come, and we were, obviously our freaking out level was maximized, because obviously something is wrong, and the only thing that could be wrong is we're pregnant. I think at this point, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that we started kind of getting a little quiet. Like we stopped kind of talk jokingly that, oh, you know, like when you miss your period in the beginning, you're like, huh, what if you're pregnant? What if, you know? I feel as if at this by this time,
Get serious now.
it got serious and people were very quiet. The house was quiet because we were like,
No longer
yeah,
just
yeah, like it's a strong possibility that something
no
is
longer a
happening.
joke.
And the funny thing is, guys, at this point we still did not check my calendar to see what was what. Anyway, so Monday, silent, still freaking out, all of that stuff. You want somebody? Still freaking out and all of that stuff. And then Tuesday morning, both of us had early schools that we had to get up for. Tuesdays was one of the worst days for us last year in terms of work. It was the worst school, the worst distance. It's just horrible. I was running a little behind. Adam was a little before me. He was like speeding up before me. And I was running a little behind, right? And when I got to like the stoplight to cross over to go to the train station, I realized that, you know what, I'm running really late and the train is going to leave me if I don't speed up my steps right now. So I started lightly jogging across the road, not running. And I started feeling nauseous and dizzy. Nauseous to the extent where I felt like I was going to throw up. Now this still did not strike me as pregnant, because I have a tendency to, whenever I run, like to catch a train, like if I'm running late and I run to catch a train or I run across the road or something, I have the tendency to feel nauseous and sick, right? Especially if I'm doing that on an empty stomach, which is most likely all of the time, because to be honest, breakfast did not exist before I got pregnant. We don't eat breakfast. So I'm always doing all of this stuff on an empty stomach. And the only time I ever remember actually throwing up since I got to Japan while running on an empty stomach to catch a train was like 3 years ago in 2018, when I was like, we separated prefectures here in Japan and I was visiting Adam for summer break. And I was missing the Shinkansen and I had to run. And I actually threw up. But yeah, that was 3 years ago. So usually I feel, so after that, usually I feel nauseous. But once I stop like jogging or running and catch my breath, it usually goes away. This time, for the life of me, I couldn't keep it down. I was like taking deep breaths, walking up the escalator, trying to like relax. And the minute I felt as if I was okay, there it went. And I threw up on the train platform in Japan in front of thousands of students. A moment of silence for my dignity, because that is embarrassing. Yes, enough. Yeah, so that happened. I threw up on the train platform in the middle of the train station. Well, not the train station, but you know, the train platforms. I had to like literally throw up on one of the tracks, with students watching me, people going to work watching me, all of that. They probably think I was drunk or something, going to work, or hangover, yeah, or something like that. But Adam didn't see me because, as I said, he was ahead of me and I was throwing up. I couldn't like call him and say whatever. But luckily he turned around to probably check how far I was, because the train that we were supposed to catch was right there coming. And he looked and he saw me vomiting, and I looked at him and I'm like, Adam, there is no way I'm not pregnant. There is no way I'm not pregnant. This does it for me. This does it for me. The fact that I threw up when I tried to keep it down, that was it for me, guys. That was it. We got home from work the Tuesday night and we obviously have to start talking about what happened this morning and what has been happening for days. And we decided to like look back at the calendar at this point. This is how long we took to look at the calendar. And you guys, I don't even want to tell them. Tell them.
So we blindly threw a dart and hit the bullseye. Of course, there's a window, a danger window.
Yeah,
Fine.
it's like 5 days.
In the window,
yeah.
you know, 10-20%.
But in the 5 days, you know, it's only one day that you're ovulating with the highest chance of getting
max
pregnant.
possibility. Yeah. And unknowingly, we made maximum use of that maximum possibility.
Yep. So that is basically what happened, you guys. After looking at the calendar, we were like, yep, We don't even need a test at this point, because obviously. But anyway, we decided to still go and get a test. One of them was one that could detect way earlier, like before your missed period, and at this point my period was very missed. I mean, you guys could probably envision what happened from here. I mean, you know, we did the deed. We did the not that deed. We did the pin and the stick part. And yeah, that is another thing too about me, you guys. Like, our relationship, like, I'm not the type of woman that, you know, thinks I'm pregnant and secretly takes a pregnancy test and then find a creative way to tell my husband. Like, I'm not doing that. I don't have the heart for that. I don't have the patience for that. I don't have the anxiety for that. Like, it's not me. He is going to be in the room with me. He is going to be there. It's no secret. We're finding out together. So that is exactly what we did. We bought the test, came home, took the test, and Adam was there, like peeping on the stick. And I'm like, Adam, just give the stick a break. Just leave the stick, let it do what it does. You know what I mean? And he was there, and he was like, so how many lines you supposed to have? But Natay, missing 2 lines. And I'm like,
I was not as frantic as
you weren't frantic, but these were the things that you were saying though.
All I said was, there's a second line. So whatever that means, that's the result. You didn't seem to believe me.
Yeah, I didn't believe you guys. Because, I don't know, I was just nervous. So I was just screaming and telling him to stop freaking me out. And then I was like, let me see the stick. And he showed me the stick. And when I saw the stick, the scream that I screamed is that word?
It is no.
The scream that I screamed, the train station could probably hear me. My poor neighbors. I was shocked, to say the least. I was shooketh. I couldn't stop screaming. I screamed for about maybe 3 minutes straight. Well, not straight, but I was like,
She took breaths
to gather up more scream. You guys, like, it was a moment in my life, in time, where I honestly regret not having on camera, even to look back and laugh at, because replaying the image in my mind of that moment, it was crazy and intense. Adam did not scream because he's not dramatic. He's cute. But me, I'm a drama queen, okay? What was your reaction? Because I was so busy screaming, I don't even know what your reaction was.
My reaction was trying to calm you down. That was my reaction. So, again, we still don't have that Instagram or YouTube, what they call that, wordy thing where you tell your husband that you're pregnant and all of a sudden it's hugs and kisses. Like, that wasn't for us. Like, I was screaming the place down. And yeah, it took us like a good maybe 5-10 minutes for me to calm down, to the extent where we could actually process that this is a positive pregnancy test and what does that mean from here, you know? Yeah, I remember just being on the bed like, looking at Adam like, silent. Like, as a girl with many words, I swear, like, words left my brain. That was the story of how we found out, you guys. And I do not want to come here on YouTube and put on this show. Not that anybody else is putting on a show, but I do not want to come on and seem as if being pregnant and finding out that you're pregnant unexpectedly does not cause anxiety and nervousness and all of that stuff. It is obviously a process, especially when you weren't trying to conceive, you know what I mean? Because it means everything in your life has got to be shifted around now. And you guys know that we live in Japan and we didn't plan to stay here. We're actually super actively working on leaving by next year, that is 2022. So obviously when we found out we were pregnant, it wasn't a yay kind of thing. It was, so what are we going to do now? You know what I mean? It took us a minute to kind of gather thoughts and feelings and emotions and
conversations and all of that about next steps, because a baby changes everything, good, bad, in between. Everything changes. In those earlier, like the first 2-3 weeks, for the first month or so, like this house became, what do I call that? A debate room. Well, not a debate room, but one of those rooms that you go in, and when you go in, it's just serious conversations you're having, and you're putting plans in place, and you're just doing all kind of things. That was us for the first couple of weeks, So, of course, we're at a better place now. We have a straight plan. A straight plan? Am I saying that right?
Good man.
Yeah, we have a good plan of next steps, where we're going, and luckily for us, we are so thankful to God that even though we were blessed with a surprise, it doesn't change too many things to the extent where
It's back to the drawing board.
it's back to the drawing board, or we spend all of the pregnancy sad and worried. You know what I mean? We are at a good place and still have our plans in place to like leave Japan and do all of that stuff. Because we've always said, no, we don't want to have babies here in Japan, but if we do end up having babies here in Japan, it is even more pressing for us to leave, because we're not raising babies here, and we don't want the baby too exposed to Japanese. With us as working parents, we have to find daycare and all of that stuff. Obviously, it's only Japanese daycare here, so the child will be like exposed to all of this stuff that we really don't want. Not that it's a bad thing, but we don't want that for our family. So yeah, that is the story of how we found out we were pregnant, you guys. I hope that it is as interesting a story for you guys as it is for us. And yeah, if you have any questions at all about anything really, leave them down in the comment box down below, and I'll be doing a Q&A video very soon, answering all of your pregnancy related questions and all of that. So I'll keep you posted. Tomorrow you guys will be seeing like the first video going live of my pregnancy update. So I'll be covering like my first trimester symptoms and what was going on within that first 3 months of my pregnancy. And then of course, as I said, every day after this video goes live, you guys will be getting pregnancy updates and then regular weekly updates following. Currently, as I film this, I'm 21. Well, yeah, 21 weeks pregnant. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, of course, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a video. Until next time, bye guys.
Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.